Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee Chapter 100. That's right, we finally hit triple digits, and just in time to get out of all of the Nagi Sachi nonsense. Because when we last left our heroes, in the aftermath of Erika dropping the bomb on Nagi that Sachi's kiss back during the photo shoot was on purpose, Nagi and Sachi finally have a long sit down and just discuss the whole tangled morass of feelings that Sachi has going on. And it's handled about as well as I'd expect. I couldn't, my preferred outcome is everything just gets shut down right then and there. No more maybe incest going on. But that's not quite what we get. What we do get is sort of Sachi says that she doesn't actually know how she feels about Nagi, but she knows that she doesn't want Nagi taken from her. But anyway, they sort of get on better terms in the aftermath of all that. And they go to prank Erika for her lack of tact by saying that they're actually getting married, which honestly, I don't think Yoshikawa deserves to tell that joke after everything she's done with Sachi as a character. She has not earned the joke there. But with that said, with everything cleared up, it's time to jump right on into the big chapter 100. We have here a color cover featuring all four male leads, Erika, Ai, Sachi, and Hiro. 100th foul. I was hoping to be your partner, Nagi-kun. Okay. So I'm going to go on a guess with the Nagi-kun bit. I think that's going to be... I think it's only Erika who calls him Nagi-kun, right? Because I would call him Chan. Sachi would drop the suffix altogether, and also would not be in his class, which partner feels kind of academic to me in that context. And Hiro would call him by his last name. So I think this is going to be... I'm hoping the 100th chapter will be an Erika chapter. I am a Team Erika person, as y'all know. But anyway, we open a flashback at the Amino, headquarters, between the hotel baron and his daughter. What in the world? And we have one of the two of them saying, I know already, and it's Erika. Just give me a bit more time. I'll definitely fulfill my promise, okay? Daddy. And that's... I don't know what that's about. What promise is going on here? So, my instinct is to tie this into either the ongoing Sosuke mystery or whatever the hell was going on in Soichiro's mind way back in 45 or 46 when he dropped the whole "you could just marry your sister and everything would be okay" line to Nagi. I don't know. Soichiro's been a character shrouded in what the fuck is his deal for a long time now. But we just see Soichiro staring out the window and says, "Don't let me down, Erika." And Erika winces at that. There's definitely... This is... I consider Soichiro as sort of... weird and a bit of an absent father, given sort of how we see Erika react so happily towards her birth parents. I figured that, Soichiro just wasn't always around, given that he's this big hotel baron. That wince from Erika... we get a whole panel just dedicated to the wince. The background fades away behind her. I don't think that this is a manga with enough tact to deal with actual, abuse. But I don't know. Anyway, we come back to the present, as Nagi is in, I guess, a bit of a new, fall uniform. With a vest. I've never really seen him in a vest before. It's the first time I've come to school in 2 weeks. Ever since that day, huh? So yeah, it's also only been 2 weeks since the whole U-kun incident, 20 chapters ago, which sometimes just hits me like a brick every so often. And we flash back to everyone instantly recognizing Nagi as U-kun. That's gotta be you! You're going out with Mochizuki Ai? For real? And Nagi sighs, it'll be fine. The cool-off strategy was foolproof. The way this page is framed, it's not gonna be foolproof. And we just have Nagi imagining just, X. It's a private matter. No comment. And he walks in. All right. No mistakes. And he just walks on in. and no one pays him any attention. I guess it sounds like they're talking about a school festival. What? But don't you think omelets are a staple? With ketchup drawings on them and stuff? How much are we charging? It's a ticket system, isn't it? It sounds like they're doing a maid cafe, is my best guess. And Nagi just sits at his desk as everyone keeps on talking about the festival. And the costumes? Is anybody here good with that? Said we don't have the budget. Man, really? And Nagi's just so confident. I guess everyone's holding back. Shocked by my sudden return. And then Azuma walks up to him. Good morning, Nagi! And Nagi just grins. It begins. Long time no see, huh? And Nagi just, without waiting for him to even ask any questions about Ai, goes right to his practice response. It's a private matter. No comment. And Azuma just looks at him, real confused. Oh, that? Did you hear? About Bucky and Tsukino Ben's wedding and stuff? It was so sudden. Isn't it crazy that two big-shot celebrities that have performed together actually got married IRL? And he's just jumping on into this, celebrity gossip. Man, I wish I could be like that. Nagi's sort of confused that no one is talking about him potentially dating a celebrity. Could it be that nobody has really paid any attention at all to that report on my relationship with Ai-chan? And he, Googles on his phone. Even if I search online, nothing shows up in the top results. And we see Ritsuko. Ritsuko was Erika's mom's name, right? Am I mistaking that? Or was that Hiro's mom's name? One of them, I think, was Ritsuko. I think it was Erika's mom. Just leave it to me, and there'll be no problem. And Nagi, and Azuma just ignores all of this. By the way, Nagi, I heard you were under the weather. You doing all right? Well, and he just thinks, you really can't trust the mainstream media. All right, okay. But with that, Azuma, I guess, fills Nagi in on what's happened in the past 2 weeks. The culture festival? Yeah, our class seems to be doing a maid cafe, so I was right, maid cafe. Everyone's been busy preparing for it. Huh. And he just walks away and thinks, not interested. But Azuma tells him, last year's festival was a blast, wasn't it? Especially the annual class battle of champions, the MI. And Nagi sort of sighs to himself, why does he have to tell me? I was worried about participating this whole time, but... And he grabs Nagi's shoulder. Let's go get him, champ. Is that an academic thing, or what exactly is this tournament? But Nagi is less than enthused about being wrapped up in whatever the fuck this is. And he turns around. What? And we turn to the I guess, class president. I think we've seen her once or twice before, but I don't know her name. Well, it's already been decided. And Nagi protests, that's whack! How can you decide on that while I was absent? Because there were no other candidates in our class. We fairly and justly determined the result via lottery. And Nagi goes on, this isn't fair, I object! And the president just looks at him, the deadline for appeals is already passed. And Nagi's just stunned there as we see Erika and Hiro watching in the background. If this is an academic thing, though, Hiro wasn't, hiding away for 2 weeks. Why was she not, mentioned as a candidate? Also, apparently, Erika's been in class the whole time. I think that might have somewhat been mentioned in the past, but we haven't confirmed here. As Erika comments, man, I didn't have the chance to tell you. And Hiro laughs, I guess he finally found out, huh? And the two of them approach him outside as Nagi's still moping. And Hiro tries to cheer him up. But hey, it's the M1. I misread that earlier. I read that as an I when Azuma said it. I guess it's a 1 given by the little diagonal here as Hiro talks about it. You're the one representing our class. And Erika tells him, this is your chance to become one of the cool kids. And Nagi's just passed out on the table. And Erika looks at him. He's taken massive damage. And Erika just looks at him and tries to cheer him up, I think. But Nagi just raises his hand. Or no, this is actually Hiro. I got it. How about you take me as your partner, Umino-kun? And I'm still not quite sure what the M1 is supposed to be, so I don't really know what the partner thing is here. But we can already see how this is going to tie into our title line. I was hoping to be your partner, Nagi-kun. But yeah, Nagi sort of, the idea of getting to partner with Hiro and not having it interrupted by his little sister this time definitely seems to interest Nagi as Hiro smiles down at him. And Hiro, all sort of confident, I mean, it's the M1, right? You wouldn't be able to handle it on your own, would you? Yep. And Nagi just, what? And Hiro turns, is that alright with you, Erika-chan? Huh? Oh, sure. You're asking me? And I'm still, really unsure what the M1 is. Because the fact that, Erika's even a contender for being a member means it's probably not academic, given that Erika is not known for her book smarts. Anyway, Hiro goes on, I mean, you two are engaged and all. And since you live together, I thought it might be imposing on you, or something. And Erika, as the title sort of implying that she's lying, but says, I don't see why not. What Nagi-kun says and does is none of my business anyway. And Hiro throws a wink down at Nagi. Alright then, Umino-kun, let's go for the gold. Yeah. And Erika, though, we see, is less than enthused in truth. And then we hear someone in the bushes. I'm going to go on a limb and say it's I. My turn! Oh, no, it's Azuma! Okay, this is going to be I up to some more antics. But turns to Erika. As you may have forgotten, way back the last time Azuma was relevant, Azuma has a big crush on Erika. Erika-chan, why don't you take me as your partner? And Erika's just stunned. Huh? And Azuma just, grins at her and, has the whole, shoujo sparkles and extends his hand to her. If we're partners, we'll win by looks alone. Face percentile numero uno. With that in mind, you cannot possibly not participate. I'm still really confused as to what the M1 is at this point. Is it a beauty contest? I don't know what they're doing here. I feel like we should have found out what this competition was before we started dealing with what the hell, the whole partnership thing. I'm just really lost at this point. I don't know. It being a harem manga might be a fake dating situation or something. I have no idea. But Erika's taken aback. And Nagi just questions, was he there the whole time? And Erika just gives him a, sure. And Azuma cheers, are you for real? Hell yeah! Woo! And Nagi just looks at him so loud. And Hiro then says, Umino-kun, I suppose you haven't heard? They say that if you're partners in the M1, you'll end up partners in marriage, So is this a fake dating thing? What the fuck is the M1? Also, bold move on Hiro's part to, insert herself into this in front of Nagi's fiancé. Real bold move there, I will say that much. And Nagi's just taken aback. What? And then the Icarus guys are watching from, the second floor. That's right. The suspension bridge effect. The M1 puts two individuals through extremes. Through cooperation together, they overcome fear and uncertainty, resulting in an effect which leads them to harbor romantic feelings. And the two of them sort of laugh as they watch on. This year's M1 is going to be a riot. And Hiro instantly tries to pull back her statement earlier. Well, this is a legend, though. I see. And Nagi, at this point, Nagi, you should, he's, I think the next panel, but, at a certain point, Nagi has to accept this girl just, actually likes him. In other words, Seigwa-san, the fact that she invited me means that she, no, I'm overthinking it. That's just her sympathy for me out of kindness. But also, but Nagi then speaks up, but are you sure? I've never participated in an event for the cool kids like this. I still just have no idea what the fuck this event is supposed to be. It was chosen by lottery, but if it's an event for the cool kids, why wasn't everyone, clamoring to get onto it? I'm just confused. If you're my partner, you're sure to regret it. And Hiro sort of teases, oh, are you not up for it after all? It's not that. And Hiro tells him, the winner gets 10 free meals at the cafeteria. And good old poor boy Nagi just chimes in, I guess I had no choice. Right? This culture festival is going to be a hot one. Let's go. All right. And they're just like raring to go. And then we cut to Nagi and Erika on their walk home. I guess at this point they've got a bit more open about the fact that they walk home together. Because I thought it was a big deal that they didn't really want to be seen together at the beginning. And I guess they moved beyond that, which is signs of the growth in their relationship. Anyway, Erika starts, good for you. You're partners with Hiro-chan. Yeah. I wasn't sure what to expect coming back to school, but Seguo-san really helped me out there. And Erika's just sort of silent. Given that title, she's definitely simmering something. What are you acting all smug like that for? You didn't seem all that into it earlier. And Nagi's sort of blushing. Well, that's because Seguo-san and I will be having secret training together now. And on top of that, 10 free meal tickets. And Erika's just kind of silent there. Not sort of reacting. But also, the way her face is turned, there's certainly a sense that she's kind of gloomy. But Nagi goes on, but I didn't expect you to agree to participate as a pair with Shion. Though we might be engaged, we'll be enemies from here on out. I won't lose. No way in hell. And then we have a dramatic, train lowering. We can't quite tell if they're on opposite sides of the train, but they're sort of stopped here thanks to the train. And Erika says, but just this once. I was hoping to be your partner, Nagi-kun. There's our title line. And we just have her staring at him. No line or anything, but it's this is definitely a money shot right here. As the train blows by behind her, she just smiles a sad little smile at him. Like she's disappointed in the outcome of today. And Nagi's just taken aback as Erika sort of looks down sadly. And as the train leaves, Erika starts walking again as Nagi turns around. Oh, you did? And she turns back to Erika. He turns back to Erika. Could it be that she... And then he flashes back to what Nagi said. They say that if you're partners in the M1, you'll end up partners in marriage, And Nagi thinks, is she being self-conscious about this? And Nagi calls out, by the way, Amano-san. And he just drops the line I've been wondering all fucking chapter. What is the M1? And so, the Megarogawa High School Culture Festival M1 begins. Please support us from the 101st foul onward as well. Okay, so, I'm not quite sure what I was expecting for a 100th chapter, but I was expecting something a little bit more, self-reflective, maybe? Commenting on, at least seeing... I expected maybe, the whole cast to show up at some point in this chapter. Instead, the story is just kind of continuing on, this is just some regular chapter, with that little flashback at the beginning notwithstanding. But that flashback is too vague. I don't really have anything else to say about that beyond what I already said, so I'll leave that alone for now. But Soichiro is just less and less, he was already kind of an ass and kind of a weirdo, but he's just getting worse and worse. I'm starting to think he's, beyond just being an absent father, a physically abusive one, maybe. Though that's all just kind of guesswork. I'm basing all of that off a single wince, which is a bit of a stretch, I admit. But anyway, this is definitely a return to form for Cuckoo. Without any of the somewhat uncomfortable antics of the Horny Hotel room, without all of the incest shit we've had the past few weeks. It's just, this feels like a classic chapter. When did summer break start in this series? Because it feels like the kind of chapter we haven't really had since, before Ai's introduction. Before summer started, before the villa arc, before I kind of blew up Nagi's school life, before the past 2 weeks. It's been a while since we've had, Nagi in school, if that makes any sense. This is a high school rom-com, and we haven't really had a high school in, I don't even know how long. I have to really, dig into when summer break started. But yeah, there's also just, some fun stuff here. Nagi is getting increasingly, it's getting... I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this. Because I don't think Nagi is quite as dense as, like, your average harem protagonist. He still sort of, he sort of acts on the assumption that Hiro and Erika aren't into him. But he's slowly starting to get suspicious. And like we have this bit where he's like, where's the line? In other words, Seigwa-san, the fact that she invited me means that she... And he sort of talked himself out of it, almost like not get his hopes up. Which is an interesting stance. Because in the beginning, he was always sort of like looking for signs that she is into him. But now that they're like closer friends, it feels like he's trying to like hold back on that instinct a little bit as to like not blow up their friendship. Like it feels there could definitely be something said for how much sort of taking back of things there is throughout this manga, specifically in terms of romance. We saw that with Sachi's arc last time, as she would like continually, constantly try to push boundaries of her relationship with Nagi and then draw back, which, as if it weren't for the, as I've said in the past about some of the Sachi storylines, if it weren't for the overall incestness of it all, that could be like a really good element of the series, is just, the incest and shit that ruins that. But we also see here, Hiro drops that marriage line and then kind of tries to walk it back. It all feels very, very, these kids are 16. They feel believably 16 in a way that I enjoy when it's not being used to talk about incest. So, a welcome return to form. We see a little bit of that with Erika's, I was hoping to be your partner, and she doesn't really expand on that, but Nagi is sort of taken back to that Hiro moment about the marriage thing, and it's a little unclear if Erika knows what the M1 is. I assume she does, because she's been in class for a week. And so she might have already known about the rumor. But, like, it still seems a bit like Erika's putting herself out there, and she doesn't, like, walk it back in the way that Hiro does, but she still doesn't really expand on it, if that makes any sense. So it feels like it's the sort of the morass of emotions that is high school, in a very realistic way. But yeah, with that, partnerships are aligned for this competition, but, we still don't know what the competition is. So, maybe we'll find out next time? I don't know. Anyway, I'm, feeling as good about Cuckoo as I felt in months at this point. I'm just glad to be out of all of the whole 2 weeks of drama, of in-universe drama, that were sort of dragging this series down for the past 5 months are gone. And things are looking up again a little bit, and I'm excited to see how this whole arc plays out going forward. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!